I choose business ethics.
C717 Business Ethics. This is the first course on my degree plan that actually has a performance assessment on it as opposed to objective assessment. And we haven't really talked about it yet, but at WGU they have performance assessments and objective assessments. Objective assessments are usually what you just take, like a multiple choice at the end of a course, to test out of it. But a performance assessment is a paper that you have to write. In business ethics, C717, there's two papers that you have to write. You have a task 1 and a task 2. This video should be pretty short because honestly, it's pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot that I could say that other people probably haven't already said. They give you a rubric of things that you actually have a template, task 1 and task 2 template, and it gives you tips on exactly how to write the entire thing. It just goes down the list, like has A1 and then it has bullet points and it says questions in there, and you just write out the questions. I would say probably a vast majority of this is, graded on grammar and answering the questions, of what they want. And they pretty much line out every single thing that they want, you to answer on all of those. It's a pretty easy, straightforward thing. I know some people kind of struggle with papers, but I've always been pretty decent at BSing my way through a paper if I have to. So I started the course on Monday. I haven't touched the reading material at all, like at all, zero. I barely even watched the cohorts. If you go and look at the tasks, the task 1 and task 2, other than a couple of things you maybe need to Google to get definitions on, it's not rocket science. You can kind of just common sense your way through the questions and what they're asking. But if you are having issues, with not knowing what some things mean, like altruism, I think is one of them, and like relativism, you can just Google it and then just write out. A lot of what they're asking on the tasks are kind of like you make up a scenario, and just give the grader what they want. Follow the rubric and just give them what they want. So it's been a long time since I wrote a paper, so I took a day or two to kind of just, think my way through it and see if I was just answering all the questions for the rubric and everything they wanted. And I spent a couple of days doing that and then submitted them. It's not like an OA where, you get your pass or fail back immediately. You send it in and then you have to wait for a grader to actually grade it. I've heard, or at least I've read, that it takes longer to get papers back if you submit things towards the end of the month. So that might be something to keep in mind, is if you have a PA class as opposed to OA, or if there's some that have both, actually. There's some that have a PA and an OA. So it might be beneficial to push your PA classes toward the beginning of the month. Or if you have one that's both, do the PA section closer to the middle or beginning of the month, and then do the OA later in the month or something like that. So I submitted them yesterday, made sure I had my T's crossed, my I's dotted, and I submitted it yesterday, and it came back today and said,
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
You don't know how hard I struggled to find a place to put that. If you're going to watch my channel, you're going to get 90s media references, so just bear with me. But no, both of them came back and said they were perfectly fine. They will send them back. So again, as far as like OAs and PAs go, if you fail an OA, you fail an OA. But with PA, you can submit it. They'll send back revisions. If you have any revisions, and you just fix them and send them back in. You have an infinite number of times that you can do that, as far as I understand. So PA classes seem a lot less stressful, honestly, but both of my papers came back and said that they were fine, and I passed the class. So I was technically the last class in my term. I contacted my mentor, and we got a few classes transferred over, so I'm going to get started on those as quick as I can, but everything else here is just extra, so that's exciting. I'm going on vacation here and next week, so I asked him to transfer 3 pretty straightforward, easy classes. The classes I asked him to transfer, hold on one second, is the spreadsheet one. So I've been taking that. Introduction to Spreadsheets, Introduction to Humanities, and Applied Algebra. I've heard all 3 of those are pretty straightforward classes. So I'm going to get started on those, and hopefully I can knock those out before I go on vacation next week. But as soon as I get done with those, maybe if they're all super easy, I'll lump them all together. But I'm really trying to like do individual videos for each individual class, because everybody's different. Some people struggle with some classes. Some people find other classes really easy. So I'm kind of trying to do one, no matter how easy or hard a class is, I'm trying to do an individual video for each individual class. So if somebody is struggling with it, they can have like a real decent frame of reference instead of trying to pile a bunch of things into one video, to save space or whatever. But that's all I really have. Again, I'll leave my information, and I appreciate everybody watching. See you guys.